Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kat, and for the next 24 hours, we are just going to be reading dragon-related books. So, like I'm sure just about everybody else, I've been so obsessed with Fourth Wing, and I really want to keep that dragon vibe going for a little bit longer, and maybe see if I can find some new favorites. So I have quite a few books on my shelf. I have some from the library. I even found some dragon romances on Kindle Unlimited, which, I'm a little nervous about how those will go, but I'm very excited to give them all a try. And yeah, so this will be a 24-hour readathon. We're just going to be reading all of these dragon books and seeing how many we can get through in a 24-hour period. So just getting into some of the possibilities for this. There is Dragon Bones by Patricia Briggs. I bought this one for like $1 at a charity shop and have no clue what it's about. So it seems like a medieval fantasy-esque story. Fireborn, which is a YA dragon fantasy, and this one's supposed to be very politically complex. Then from the library, I also have The Awakening by Nora Roberts, which I think is Dragon Shifters, and then A Natural History of Dragons by Mary Brennan, which is more of like a historical dragon study type of book. And then we have two possible dragon romances, which are Dragon Mate and Sinister Magic. I don't really know too much about them, but when I looked up dragon books on Kindle Unlimited, these were the two options that came up. So I have 2 physical, 2 library, 2 Kindle Unlimited, and we're just gonna see where I get to this weekend. And I'm really excited. I definitely, for sure, these 2 are getting read because I want to get down my physical TBR. And if I do like this one, I do have the sequel to it as well. But yeah, I'm super excited, and let's just dive in.
Passenger side, I couldn't be your sunshine. We're up in the air, but I'm down for the ride. I couldn't be your sunshine. Yeah. Every time you get in my.
So I decided to DNF this one after like 40 pages because I just like really was not feeling it. It's kind of like in a medieval time period, which to start with, that's not my thing. I really don't like those. And I don't know, I just seem to have some weird political things going on. I just didn't care. And yeah, I don't even know how to describe it because I didn't get that far in. I just really was not vibing with it. So I'm going to DNF this one and unhaul it probably, which is fine. I just bought it for $1, so I don't really care. And after that, I think I was just in the mood for something, like a little silly, goofy, whatever. So I did start I started a dragon romance, so this one is called Dragon Mate, and I'm surprised to say how much I'm enjoying this one. It kind of just is giving like silly monster romance almost, but I'm really enjoying it. So we're following this young woman who escapes like a really abusive household and goes to this university that she got a full ride scholarship to. So she just gets there, and then like the first day she's there, she sees this like sexy guy and is immediately drawn to him, and they have some kind of like intense connection or something. And now it's just like them being drawn to each other, and they keep running into each other, and he keeps asking her out, and like it's so silly and goofy, but I really like it. And it just has like all these stupid like young university students just being like shitty and gossipy, and just I don't know, I think it's just really what I'm enjoying right now. It's just really what I'm in the mood for right now, and it's kind of perfect. So this one's like insanely short. I think it's only like 220 pages, so I do not anticipate that this one's going to take long. But yeah, it's kind of perfect for right now. So I'm going to keep going on this and probably have that done tonight at least. So that'd be nice to have at least one done before I go to bed tonight. Okay, so there's like very clearly some type of fae people, and I'm assuming they're like dragon shifters just because it's a dragon romance. And there's like a group of people, and every single one of them is acting like they've never talked to a normal human before, because they keep like dropping like, oh, these people just made it, no they're dating, or like, oh, I just got back from the fae, no, I just got back from home. It's like they've never once interacted with a human or never had to guard what they were talking about before. So it is the next morning, clearly, and I'm just having like such a slow, tired morning so far. I didn't even stay up super late last night, but I'm just like so exhausted today. So just having my morning coffee and like figuring out what I'm doing for the day. I do want to either go for a long walk or go to the gym in a bit, which I haven't decided what one yet. And then I'll come home, shower, get ready, whatever. But I did want to talk first about the reading that I did last night. So I finished reading Dragon's Mate, which is like this paranormal romance about a human and a dragon shifter. And it takes place as this girl goes to a local college and gets involved with the supernatural community and just immediately like becomes mated with this dragon shifter. And this is one that was very just like a silly, goofy, fun time in that not much happened. It was kind of silly and like it required like no thought investment or like no thinking involved in it. And I liked it. It really, we're just following these people as they mate, and this girl learns about the supernatural community, and then they're investigating this murder mystery that's happening around campus, and they think it's from another supernatural person. So overall, it was not fantastic by any means, but I do think it was a very fun time, and especially for like these dragon shifter kind of things. It was pretty good. And I think it was just like the perfect, like nighttime not thinking about book, because it just like, it required no thought process last night. And that was exactly what I wanted, as I was kind of just like chilling after a long day. So it ended up it ended on like such a cliffhanger. And of course it ended like this huge thing happened, like somebody was almost died. So immediately I picked up book 2 and then I got about 50 pages into it. So I think I'm going to finish that this morning first before I dive into anything else, because even though it's not great, it has been entertaining me, and that is like exactly what I need right now. Just like a silly little romance between a dragon shifter and a human. Perfect. So I do think that's gonna be the first one that I finish, and then I really want to get, I don't know, we'll see. I have so many other options that I really want to get to, but I'm just really like, as I'm waking up, as I'm having my coffee, you know what, let's keep reading these like silly little romances and enjoying them, because I think this is like perfect for right now. And I haven't decided yet. I'm really leaning towards a walk, because there's a coffee shop about a 40-minute walk each way that I really, really love. And I think I might do that. I might just like pop in an audiobook and walk there. So I'm kind of leaning more towards that right now.
Every time I'm all alone, can't help but pick up the phone, and I'm ringing it for you.
So the day definitely went different than I was expecting it to. I ended up just like laying on the couch all day because I wasn't feeling super great, and I finished the entire trilogy of that dragon romance book I was reading. So the books, it was Dragon Mate, Dragon Heir, Dragon Queen. I finished books 2 and 3 today, and I enjoyed them a lot. They were exactly what I wanted and exactly what I was kind of hoping for with it, like urban fantasy kind of book. There really wasn't anything like crazy happening. It wasn't super thrilling, super exciting or anything, but it was just like, the perfect thing for some light reading and like a little fantasy. Every single one of the books ended on like the craziest cliffhanger, where like somebody was literally like just getting stabbed, about to die, or like this huge thing happened. So of course I had to keep picking them up, and they were super quick reads, so like why not? But I definitely really enjoyed it, and all of them were like a 3-star, because it really wasn't anything that spectacular, but I had a very fun time. And sometimes all I'm in the mood for is just a very fun fantasy romance vibe that like doesn't require a lot of thinking into it. So those were pretty good. I'm not sure what I'm going to pick up next, but I do have so many more books I want to read for this, so there's a good chance this will be extended into tomorrow as well. But I'm looking right now at Fireborn, and I do think that this is going to be what I'm pick up next, and I'm definitely like insanely excited for it. Oh, also I wanted to say, for the dragon shifter romance, I realized that this author has like 30 or 40 different like paranormal romance books, and there's a few that take place in the same world. I'm not sure how many, but it seems like a few of them were following characters in this book, and honestly I think I'm super interested in reading some more of them. Like, I actually did think this was a pretty fun time, and this world could be an interesting one to come back to, so I'm not upset about that at all.
Driving real fast and I'm feeling alright.
much decided that I wanted to add another day and bring this up to like a 48-hour readathon instead of 24, mainly because I started reading Fireborn last night and I'm obsessed. And, you know, I need to finish this. I need to keep the dragon vibes going. And I have a feeling that this is going to be so insanely good. And yeah, I'm like barely into it. I'm like 50, 60 pages and I am obsessed already. So we're in this world where like 10, 15 years earlier, there had been a revolution and all of the ruling classes of the world were overthrown, and they basically made it like more of a equal system where everyone has like more chances in lives. It's not as like before, it was very caste based, and they decided to make it more like everybody in the world has a decent chance, which that in itself is fantastic. That sounds very good. But we're following our main character, or one of our main characters was one of the sons of this ruling class, and after and basically his entire family was murdered for this revolution, and he somehow managed to get away and posed as an orphan in an orphanage for like his entire childhood. So we're following him now as he's 17. There was this like, there's a group of people who are in training to become dragon riders, and they're basically like guardians for the realm. So he managed to be tested into this placement to be like trained as a dragon rider, and now he's one of them, and he's competing in this like big competition to become one of like the wing leader, the most elite of the elite, like the top guardians out there. And we're just following him as he's like in this competition so far, and one of his friends from the orphanage as well, who's like dealing with the same type of stuff, and it is insanely interesting. I have such a feeling that this is going to be like very political and very like war-based and training and stuff, and like that's amazing. That's going to be very Fourth Wing-esque, I feel like. So I am having such an insanely good feeling about this one. Extending the readathon entirely just to finish this one today. I don't know if I'll read anything else, but if nothing else, I need to get this one done because I'm loving it. This is so good, and I'm just like, I'm so obsessed. I got another 15-20% into it, and oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. I've been seeing so many people say that this is like one of their favorite books of the year. I see why. This is fantastic. I didn't really get too much into it, but we do have a dual perspective. So Lee, who's the son of the previous leader and is now kind of like pretending to be a commoner, and I mean, I guess he kind of is because he did grow up in an orphanage after his parents were killed, but he's now one of the guardians. And then we're also following a young girl named Annie, who's one of the guardians as well, and she was raised in the orphanage with Lee, but she's very much like, because of their position as dragon riders, they're really like thrust into high society, and she was really like raised in a tiny town, no money, no education, that type of thing. So she's really not used to this like interacting or like acting like one of the highborn. So I'm really loving seeing her side of this as she's like trying to figure out how to navigate society, but also like she's really trying to find this confidence within, because she's an incredibly accomplished dragon rider, an incredible rider, like really one of the best, but she doesn't really have this like personal confidence in herself, and you really see it in like the way she interacts with people. She really isn't comfortable standing up for herself. She doesn't know how to like stand her ground or like really talk up in a lot of situations, and you're seeing her finally start to get this confidence and start to like recognize that she is worthy of a lot of this, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much.
I could be your sunshine. Every time you get in mine, baby, give me a raise.
Okay, I really, I can't say I'm surprised, but yeah, 5-star. This was fantastic. It gave so many of those Fourth Wing vibes, and honestly, almost better in a way, because I don't know, sometimes I'm not in the mood for like a romance, and this didn't really feel like one. And it was just like this wonderful political maneuveration and all of this like intense training and battle fighting for who's going to be the leader of their squadron. Plus there's this huge like potential rebellion happening in the country, and just all of the people are really getting involved. There's so many different factions, and then all of these secrets coming out, and it was so good. I loved both of our main characters. They were so fantastic, and the story, unbelievable. Literally, my only complaint is going to be that even though they had dragons who they were dragon riders for, I was kind of missing that like communication with dragons, like almost them being in their heads and like talking to the riders. That was the only thing I felt like I was slightly missing, but otherwise 5-star, fantastic. I am so happy I finally read this. So happy I listened to so many recommendations, and I could not recommend this one more. So I decided to do one last book, and I was really tempted to read the sequel to Fireborn, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm gonna give myself some time so I can like stay excited about that one, and I don't know, maybe do it in another dragon vlog. But the one I decided to do is The Awakening by Nora Roberts. I'm halfway through, and honestly I'm really confused where the dragon aspect is coming in. I heard there were dragons in this book, and like the series name is Dragonheart, so I really am confused whether or not there's a like what's going on. We follow this young woman who has spent like her entire life being like controlled by her mother and really downtrodden, and like everything she's tried to accomplish in life has been really put down. And she comes across this like inheritance essentially that her father had left her, and her mother's been hiding for 20 years, and in it is like $4 million. So she takes this opportunity to quit a job she hates. The fact that she's working multiple part-time jobs, she's miserable in life, can't afford anything. So she takes this money and decides to go to Ireland for the summer to see where her father's from and like get to know him a bit more in that sense. But from here, it's starting to get a little magical, and I think this is, I'm hoping, where the dragons come in. But it seems like her father was from a Fey realm where there's a portal in Ireland or something, and she is actually a witch. So part of her family still lives in this Fey realm, and she has magical powers. There's some kind of like fight going on with her grandfather who's like trying to kill her for some reason. But there finally seems to be some type of magic in this book and something going on. So I'm feeling hopeful that there'll be dragons. I'm gonna be so disappointed if I've read this book and there's like none at all. But yeah, here's for hoping that we'll find some. Okay, we just got our like first actual dragon reference, and it was really random and just like one line that I almost missed. But there's some really sexy guy who's riding a dragon, and he was fighting this monster in the sky. And I have a bad feeling that this might be like the extent of the dragons in this book, is just like some random dragon rider who maybe isn't relevant to the plot. I hope he is. I desperately hope there's more, but I'm getting a bad feeling that there won't be much more. Okay, update. Dragon Rider Man is now a potential love interest and trainer to our main character, but there is once again like a very sad lack of actual dragons in this book aside from that reference. So I'm feeling very disappointed, and I do feel like we cannot really classify this as a dragon book, but I'm still reading it for the vlog because I'm pretty close to done, but it's a disappointment so far. So I am now done reading The Awakening by Nora Roberts, and yeah, it like had no dragons, almost no dragons in it. It was kind of disappointing that way. So one of the main characters, like I was, well, not even the main character, the love interest of the main character, he was a dragon rider, but that was very not integral to the plot. It was just kind of like one of his special tricks almost, or like a little bit of why he's a good fighter. And yeah, I'm very disappointed that it didn't end up being a bigger plot point, especially because just this series, it's called the Dragonheart Legacy, so I thought there would be more dragons. Maybe they'll be in other books, but I'm really not sure if I want to keep reading it. I'm really not sure if I want to keep reading it. It was like a pretty solid 3-star book, which again, there's nothing wrong with 3-star books. They're not bad. It just wasn't really that intriguing to keep going forward. Didn't really end anywhere that was like super exciting for me to keep going. And I don't know. It was okay. And I realized that like for Nora Roberts books, they're really just all okay for me. She does come out with some like magical type books, and I've read a few of them by now, and they've all been 3 stars. So it's like, again, nothing's wrong with them. They're just fine. So overall, this vlog was sort of a success. I did find one 5-star read, which I'm incredibly happy about. But then I also found 4 3 stars and 1 DNF. So, you know, like it was okay. It was an okay kind of experiment. I'm definitely gonna need to look up some more dragon books and do another version of this, because I know there has to be more out there that I'll love. And especially, I really want to find more dragon romances, because I'm sure there's some, but specifically dragon shifter romances, because yeah, I don't want to get into like monster romance type things. But I'm feeling good, at least, that Fireborn was a 5-star, and I have a really good feeling that the sequel to it as well is going to be fantastic. So that's going to be it for this vlog. Yeah, I kind of feel ready to finish it off. It's been 48 hours. I am tired and ready to get started on something new. And so if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Please leave comments below of dragon books that you think I might like, or any that you've read and like, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye.